Hello. So today I'm going to talk about very important topic. Many people have asked me questions about, they want to pursue a career in finance, but they're a bit worried about the current macroeconomic environment. As you probably know that a lot is happening. There is a tariff war already. We aren't yet out of the inflation crisis, and there are a number of activities, number of negative things out there in the macroeconomic environment. Amid all of this, how to go about starting your career in finance, or is it even a good time to start your career in finance? Some people even are questioning whether a career in finance will be a good decision. So I'd like to discuss all of this in this video. Well, first of all, let me tell you that the macroeconomic environment is affecting everything and not just the jobs in the finance. You see the tech companies are affected, the consumer companies affected, you name it. Every sector is getting impacted because of the prevailing macroeconomic condition, and that is only going to get worse over time if things do not change, especially on the tariff front, right? So we have to be prepared for that. I think that is not something unexpected. It was also a bit expected when last year we got to know that Mr. Trump will be the prime minister, the president of the US, because he's a fan of tariff. I'm not sure how many of you remember. Even in his first term, he indulged in a tariff war with China, but now this time he has escalated it to the rest of the world. So it's not a surprise, but to what extent this will be enforced, whether there will be a rollback, whether there will be negotiations, all of these things are still uncertain. But I think these things are not in our control, right? If, there are always some adverse events happening in different parts of the world, and this is perhaps a big one. But it's important not to change your career or thinking about change your interest because of some events happening somewhere, right? If you're interested in finance, you should continue having the interest, and I think you should put in efforts to make a good career in finance. And other sectors are also getting affected, so it's not just the field of finance is getting affected. So that's something to keep in mind. Your interest should not change, and if you came into finance, or you are interested to come into finance for wrong reasons, you just want to make quick money and then retire at the age of 40, that's a very wrong approach to any career. I wouldn't advise anyone to have such a mentality. So if you're someone who has that kind of a mentality, I would say then rethink about it, because regardless of what the situation is, you're going to struggle after a while. So if you're genuinely interested in the field of finance, any area of finance, could be asset management, could be trading, could be banking, different kinds of banking, insurance, payment, fintech, the varieties of careers, right? And within each one of these sectors, within the field of finance, you also can have different types of career, right? You can be an auditor, a private banker, an asset manager, a quant, a risk manager, a compliance expert, sustainability expert, and so on and so forth. So there are a number of opportunities out there, and there will always be jobs in the field of finance. It's not like people will stop um, saving money in banks or taking insurance or reinsurance, and will not invest in the markets. That's not going to happen. I think, to me, I think the world of finance is getting only bigger over time, and slowdown is no doubt affecting, but it's rather temporary in my view, and it's only going to get better over time, and only is going to grow. Maybe there is a pause, there is a slowdown for months or maybe 1 or 2 years, but sooner or later this will change and there will be a recovery happening, right? I remember my own time, 2008. global financial crisis. That was a much bigger crisis than what we see now. Many institutions were affected, and cross-border issues were there, right? Things were not at all in control, but even then, things got better after 2 years. This time around, it doesn't seem to be that bad. Uh, we never know. I mean, things might turn out to be different, maybe in 6 months' time, but at least until now, it doesn't look that bad. So I do expect, or I do hope that things will be better towards the end of the year. Um, okay, and regarding career in finance, let me tell you that there will always be opportunities out there. In my personal opinion, I think the world of the career in finance is still a very lucrative, a very rewarding, satisfying, intellectually satisfying career. If you are someone who has strong interest in the field of economics, finance, mathematics, a bit of mix of both, and then you will really enjoy a career in finance, right? I normally talk about quantitative finance on this channel, but there are other career opportunities in finance as well. If you're not a mathematical savvy person, you don't want to be a quant, there are other opportunities in the field of finance, right? You can be an economist working in banks and asset management firms, or you could be a compliance expert, risk management expert, front office guy. You can be a trader, you can be a relationship manager, you can just be a banker, right? Banker of any kind. That's a valuation expert. There is just plethora of opportunities out there. Even if you're a tech guy, you want to do tech in finance, wonderful opportunity out there, right? And finance is, to me, I think one of the oldest professions, oldest white collar professions that we know of. So it is never going to go away. It's only going to get bigger and more lucrative over time. And for genuine interest, you will definitely benefit from it. Regarding quant finance in particular, in my view, I think this has never been a better time to become a quant than now, simply because I think the need of data analysts, no need of mathematical researcher, the need of quantitative people or statistical people, or people who have interest in mathematics and can solve problems in the field of finance. The demand is just insane for a number of reasons. One is, again, I've just said, decision making is now very data driven compared to 20, 30 years back when things were very um, non-statistical, non-quantitative in many areas of finance. So that has changed. Regulations have become very strict. In every regulatory area, you will find quants working. So that area is growing. For the first time, I see asset management, retail, all kinds of asset management, mutual funds, hedge funds, family offices. They're after the quants, actually. In fact, if you have a couple of years of experience working as a quant in asset management firm, you will be like a rock star now, because I think these people are now being poached from companies and being paid insane salaries, especially in some cities like in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Singapore, Oman, in London as well, but also in other parts of the world. So so there's never been a better time to be a quant. And one other thing is that there are many transferable skills that, if you want to move to other areas, you want to become a data scientist after having worked for banks as a quant, or asset management firms as a quant for 10, 15 years, you want to do something else, right? You want to work in pharma, or you want to work in manufacturing. That's still fine, because your skills in programming, mathematical research would always be extremely, extremely useful, right? I don't know the hedge fund guy. I'm not able to recollect the name, but there's a very famous hedge fund quant. His PhD in maths, not James Simon, but another person actually. Um, uh, he was a professor. Later on, he became a quant and made a lot of money. Hedge fund became a hedge fund manager. In fact, he became a billionaire. He started the hedge fund himself. He quit hedge fund and now he's doing research in protein synthesis or something like that, something on biotechnology. So, a lot of the skills that you learn as a quant analyst will always be useful in other areas. So you can easily make a move to other fields. later in your career. If you want to make a career in business, in more commercial roles within the field of finance, that's also quite possible. And I in fact hired someone many years back. He started as a quant analyst, junior quant analyst. After 2 years, I, I think he passed one or two CFA papers, and then he moved to yeah, moved to a front office role, and later on, I think he's now an asset manager at a leading asset management firm in Europe. So that's definitely possible, right? So it's a wonderful time to remain interested if you are genuinely interested, and just be there for good reasons. And the good reasons are your interest, your liking, your passion, your career aspirations. And of course money is very important, but that shouldn't be the only interest or the only reason why you should go into any career, and certainly finance. Right. And other than that, what I like to say is that there are a lot of talk going on. Actually, a lot of negative talks. I would advise the young folks to just have a bit of patience, because you are not the only one who's getting impacted by this. There are others also on the same boat like you. So you have to have patience in order to navigate the uncertainties that we are currently um, facing. Probably it's going to take a while to. It's not going to probably not going to be better in few months' time. So it might test your patience. And many working professionals experience one. They have actually seen bit of uncertainties in the past, from COVID crisis to, let's say, 2008 financial crisis, the sovereign debt crisis. I think sometime 10 to 12 years back in Europe. um, and several of these people have seen. In fact, people who have worked in this industry for 30 years, they have seen the Asian crisis, the dot-com crisis. There's number of crises, right? At least I have seen two. This is the third one I'm experiencing. So for the experienced professional, it's not big of an issue, but for absolute beginners, it can be a bit overwhelming. I can totally imagine. But I would say you have you must be very positive. You must focus on your skills. You must focus on learning. You must focus on just improving yourself. Try um, getting a job, and if you are not able to get a job, that's also fine. Just have a bit of patience. Do intensives if you're getting opportunities, but at the very least, just read books, watch some good videos, read blogs, learn on your own, learn through a mentor, whatever suits you the best. Connect with people, be on LinkedIn, and try to learn more and more. There are a lot of people who are posting on LinkedIn. Most of it is actually good in my view. I think LinkedIn is by far the best social network in my view compared to Facebook, Insta, and other mediums. So yeah, be active. I think the young people who are looking for jobs must be on LinkedIn. I think for experienced professionals, it's probably less important because they already have a network. But for young folks, they don't have a network yet. So it's good to be on LinkedIn. And you know, such opportunities were not available when I was looking for a job 15 years back. Things have changed and for better. So, all right. So that's something I want to share. Any questions, as always, let me know in the comment section. And thanks. Thank you. See you next time.